Ethiopia has got new Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali.
Dr. Abiy Ahmed በዛሬው ዕለት በሕዝብ ተወካዮች ምክር ቤት ፊት ቀርቤ የኢፌዴሪ ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ሆኜ ስሰየም ለሕገ መንግሥቱ ታማኝ በመሆን ከሀገሪቱና ከሕዝቡ የተጣለብኝን ኃላፊነት በቅንነት በታታሪነት እንዲሁም ሕግና ስርዓትን መሰረት በማድረግ ስራዬን ለመፈጸም ቃል እገባለሁ።
Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, he's 42. And he was chairman of OPIDO, the Oromo People Democratic Organization, which is the ruling party of the Oromo Region State, and later became chairperson of the EPRDF, the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, and now Prime Minister of the country. Dr. Abiy Ahmed was Lieutenant Colonel. He did his PhD in Peace and Security from Addis Ababa University. He has got first degree in computer engineering, his second degree in MBA and cryptology, as well as leadership, and he's very trained, very educated leader of the country. And he delivered a speech which is amazing, that representatives of the House of People's Representatives and members of Parliament, I rather say, have appreciated his speech that holds everything in the country, including the current problems in the country and other problems which are international, including the relationship with Eritrea. And Dr. Abiy called on all Ethiopians, wherever they live, to come home and work together. The outgoing Prime Minister and the new Prime Minister have exchanged constitution and national flag of the country. They have also exchanged a very warm brotherly hug. Then the new Prime Minister delivered his first ever speech to the members of Parliament in the House of People's Representatives.
የተከበሩ አፈ ጉባኤ፣ የተከበራችሁ የሕዝብ ተወካዮች ምክር ቤት አባላት፣ የተከበራችሁ የሀገራችን ሕዝቦች፣ ጥሪ የተደረገላችሁ እንግዶች፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን።
Honorable Speaker, members of the House, the Ethiopian nation's nationalities and peoples, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my heartfelt bliss to deliver this speech in front of respected House in this very historic day of peaceful power transition. First of all, I would extend my appreciation for the former Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn, who gave opportunity for the new EPRDF leadership through peaceful power transfer, which made him an exemplary in the continent, aiming to restore peace and political stability in the country.
ዕለቱ ለሀገራችን ታሪካዊ ቀን ነው። በታሪካችን በተለያዩ አጋጣሚዎች አዲስ የፖለቲካ ምዕራፍ የመጀመር እድሎችን አግኝተን ብዙዎቹን በወጉ ሳንጠቀምባቸው አምልጠውናል።
This is a very historic day in the history of Ethiopia. There were similar opportunities in the history of this country, but most of them diminished without any tangible result. So we have to use this peaceful power transfer as good opportunity for nation building. Ethiopia do have a plenty of patriots. Those hardworking and visionary patriots wishes their country prosperous, peaceful, who loudly speaks in the country and overseas in order to make Ethiopia great again.
ይህ የስልጣን ሽግግር ሁለት አበይት እውነታዎችን የሚያመላክት ነው።
The peaceful power transfer is an indicator of two major truths. The first one is that it has laid a foundation for all-inclusive, sustainable and stabilized constitutional rights. The second one is the move to build a contemporary system that adjusts itself with the progressive socio-economic and political situation and rushes behind the interest of the larger public. This is the right time to learn from past mistakes and make our country great again. The ruling coalition party EPRDF has governed Ethiopia for more than 2 decades through following its developmental and democratic paths. In those years, it has also built a strong federal and constitutional government. Even if there were a number of successes, there are also different drawbacks in our journey. So we learn from our past mistakes and move forward to build a united country that serves all nations, nationalities and peoples. This is a country which inherited to us from our fathers and forefathers by their sacrifice of bones and blood in Metama, Adwa, Macho and Karamara for its sovereignty. So we are very lucky generation because forefathers bequeathed us beautiful and history country. Ethiopia is a great nation with long-standing history and role model for other black people by keeping its sovereignty, by fighting its foes and winning colonialists. Our unity is highly tied with blood relation. All nations, nationalities and peoples have sacrificed for the unity and sovereignty of this country.
ኢትዮጵያ የሁላችን ሀገር የሁላችን ቤት ናት በአንድ ሀገር ውስጥ የሐሳብ ልዩነት ይኖራል የሐሳብ ልዩነት እርግማን አይደለም
Ethiopia is home for all of us. There is an ideology difference in every country, which is not curse. But what is good is respecting ideal diversity and reaching on the remedy for all problems. Unity is better than political ideology, in which unity is not to mean that the same. But our unity should inculcate and respect political and ideological differences. We Ethiopians demand democracy. During the ancient time, our ancestors have been experiencing the Gada system, which is best for the current democracy. We demand democracy for this country right now. There is no democracy without freedom. Freedom is not something which is granted from government to public. It emanates from intrinsic humanistic view. So we need to fully exercise our constitution, which gave recognition for freedom, which fully respects human and democratic rights like freedom of speech, freedom to be gathered and organized, which should be respected. Citizens should also actively participate in the politics of the country. So what we all have to understand is that democratization is a process which needs to listen to each other. Power is granted to the public to comment, interrogate and blame the government, which is the servant. Our governing idea is freedom of the public. Ethiopia is a country of all nations, nationalities and peoples, which need their voices to be heard. Doing so is democratic system. So the government works with its maximum effort for the peaceful coexistence of nations. Nations should also interrogate their rights in a democratic way. The government do have dual responsibility of respecting the law and letting the public to respect the law.
መንግስት የዜጎች ሰላማዊ እንቅስቃሴ እንዳይስተጓጎል በጽናት ይሰራል በተመሳሳይ ዜጎች ሐሳባቸውን ሲገልጹ ሰላማዊ በሆነ መንገድ መሆን ይገባዋል
His speech got big hands in the house. Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has touched many issues of the country in his speech, including agriculture, education, corruption, and employment, among others. In his speech, Dr. Abiy addressed the audience that all should benefit by the works of his government. Prime Minister Dr. Abiy has also called on the government of Eritrea to open its doors for peaceful dialogue with Ethiopia. The way he stressed the contribution of women in the development of the country got great appreciation from the public. Members of Parliament, OBN Talk 2, have appreciated the speech of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. I'm amazed by his speech. I'm glad to hear those sweet words. We expect much from him, she said. I am so happy. I am wordless. It is a great success. We are by his side, she said. I'm happy. It is a historical day in the history of our country. We will support him well. As Member of Parliament, we will strengthen the check and balance activities for the success of his commitment, she said.
አብረን መስራት አለብን ለለውጡ የሚል ነው ስለዚህ በቁርጠኝነት ሁላችንም እናቶች እንደኛ
Our Prime Minister has delivered a wonderful speech. He expressed readiness to work for the benefit of women. His speech on the need to create peaceful relationship with Eritrea is very interesting. I'm happy, she said.
በንግግራቸው ውስጥ ጥሩ ነገሮችን አስቀምጠዋል አንደኛ ከማንኛውም ተቃዋሚ ኃይል ጋር
His speech is so wonderful. I'm really happy with it. I hope it will bring change to the country.
It was expected speech, and I'm very happy by his speech. And he tried to address many of the current Ethiopian issues. And it was a really admirable speech was delivered by His Excellency the Prime Minister.
It was very impressive, and I have never heard such impressive speech before. For me, it was first time, and I'm very happy and very glad to hear from my new Prime Minister such impressive speech.
What does that mean?
Well, it holds very big meaning. It's already to take responsibility to lead this country, which is diverse, full of diversity. Then to hold this diversity as one and to help the country to grow as it was needed by the government of Ethiopia. So it is very, very impressive, and it leads us to prosper as it was planned by our government, and the speech was very important. It touches all part of the people, even the opposition parties, even to come and to work together to bring the expected result, the expected change in our country. So even it recognizes their role. So it also invited all the people of Ethiopia, users, especially users, to use their power in democratic way, and to raise their questions in democratic way, and to participate in the development of the country as the country needs.
He tried to touch many issues, and if this speech come to practical, we need to cooperate. So as a member of parliament, I am very happy to support and to be part of this reform.
The new Prime Minister of Ethiopia has opened his door for contesting parties to work together. And how do you see that?
It's very appreciating. His speech is historical speech. We appreciate him. He is the one who stressed the name of Ethiopia. The other presidents or prime minister didn't mention that they said Ethiopian people. But he stressed Ethiopianism. He stressed everything, the problems. Where is the problems? The difference between individuals, the difference with the parties, the corruption of the country, the maladministration of the country, the economical problem of the country, the unequal division of the country's wealth. And he stressed us to give remedy.
I think it was a good speech, wasn't it? He has covered a number of areas. My take is he has a commitment to the position of the EPRDF. That is what I sensed.
Abba Gadas have also expressed their pleasure and called on the Oromo people to embrace all nations, nationalities and peoples of the country with love and respect as ever. I am so glad now we got what we want, but we should support him in many ways. As a Bagada, we call on our people to embrace nations, nationalities and peoples of the country with love and respect as per the rules in the Gada system. Double responsibility lies on the Oromo people as the Prime Minister is an Oromo. Opposition political parties, which the Prime Minister addressed as contesting political parties, have also appreciated the way Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed expressed his readiness to work with them. Regarding the issue of Eritrea, the members of parliament and the contesting political parties had to say the following.
It was a short statement. I'm not sure what he meant, but to the extent I tried to sense what he has done is, and it is right, that there is no gain in confrontation. There is no gain in any form of disturbance. That Ethiopia does not gain and will not gain if it tries to interfere in Eritrean affairs. And Eritrea will not gain in the end, ultimately, if it interferes in Ethiopian affairs. Where the gain lies is for the two states, for the two countries.
It depends not only, it's not our only side. So also it needs the other parties' will. So by our side, the speech of our Prime Minister, our new Prime Minister, is very inviting, and it helps us. We also would like to continue our familyness with that country. We respect it.